here yet, but I need to make this room accessible for the chair and get rid of my stuff. So I've been doing that, but in the meantime, I thought, oh, I need to upload some videos from when we were on vacation and the things that we did. So I wanted to share that with you. This is not really a yarn video, so if you don't want to watch it, I understand, but I think you'll see some interesting things, which is why I'm going to take the time to put it together for you. We went to a place called Hale Farm and Village, and that's in Bath, Ohio. And a brief synopsis is that it is an old farm that they, over the years, have brought in old buildings from like the late 1800s or earlier, maybe even early 1800s, and they set up a town. And it's now like a museum, but it's a working museum. So you go there. The kids used to go on field trips all the time with school, and I would go any chance I could because it's a really a cool place. All the workers are dressed in period costume, and it's set up as a little town. You have your blacksmith shop, you have your glass blower, you have your broom maker, your person that works with the yarn and fabrics, and your potter that also makes the bricks. You have a church. They make cheese. They have a barn where they used to have animals. I did not see any animals while we were there, so I don't know if, so many things changed during COVID. So I don't know if they got rid of the animals, they didn't have anyone to take care of them, or what. I don't know, but I didn't see any animals there. But usually when usually when you go there, all these things are working, and you can go in and there's someone making a broom, and they tell you, we take the straw and we do this and we make the broom, and this is how we make cheese, and this is how it's aged. And I did not get to the cheese shop. It was really, really hot. And I did not find the broom guy. And there was a weaver actually weaving, but I did not see, she didn't talk about the process of how the fabric becomes, like how the yarn is made, the thread, yarn, whatever, to make the fabric. In the past, when the kids were little, I've seen, they've talked about that and showed you how, the different materials that they use to dye it and how that works, and the loom, and, all of that. They didn't get into that this particular weekend. I'm going to assume it's because they also had a festival going on. It's their annual Made in Ohio festival. All the vendors that are there, which normally there aren't vendors, but all the vendors there, everything they make is sold in Ohio, made in Ohio. It could be sold anywhere, but it's made in Ohio. I do have a picture that I'll start off with of, I'm going to the glass blower's place, but so it's up high, and you can see, I took a picture of the area where you can see all the vendors are set up. Like, just, you don't see much, but I tried to encompass what you could see. But then the first thing I'm going to show you is a video that I took of the one and only weaver, knitter, crocheter that was there. It was two ladies, and they are from a place called Chickadee Weaving, handmade. Let's see, I want to get that up. Okay, handmade, hand-woven designs. And thank you for supporting my small business, chickadeeweaving@gmail.com. I hope I've got that centered well enough. So there were two ladies there. The one was knitting. Beautiful items. The other one is a weaver and makes soaps. So the knitting woman, one day I would like to be able to knit some of the things that she made. Gorgeous. The weaver, Laura from Mammy's Crochet and Farming, she did some weaving with her class, and she wasn't thrilled with it after a few minutes. She didn't like it too much. I've always wanted to try it, so I've always been kind of impressed with seeing how they make things. The woman that was actually weaving there, I have some video of her as well. She was making like trivets, and you make a whole bunch of them on one roll and then cut them apart. I thought, oh, that was cool. I thought you made them individually, but no, they don't. And I don't know if I got that in the video, but anyway, this woman at Chickadee Weaving, I'm going to show you. I purchased this. It is a bath bomb kit, so that's hand woven by her, the washcloth. Then there's a bath bomb and a bar of soap. All handmade by her. Again, this is her specific card, Chickadee Weaving, handmade, hand-woven designs. So I did get 2 of these, which I purchased, one for me, one for you. I'm not sure if they'll just be 2 for you. I don't know. But the giveaway is not going to be in this video because I have a couple of videos of things that we did and things that I purchased, so I want to put them together as one giveaway. So it'll be in the next what we did on vacation video. But the first thing you're going to see is the video that I took of their little stand. Then I think I'll go into the video of the glass blower. And he's actually blowing, and that's he's making a pumpkin. You'll see at the end it's a pumpkin. And he's talking. I hope you can hear him. If not, you can just watch him. Or speed up through the whole thing, or don't do any of it. But then I'm going to show some other things. But there will be some video clips here and there. And I will talk over the room pictures so you can see. At least that's the plan. And I can tell you a little bit about what you're seeing in the picture parts. But then I have the potter. He's finishing up a project. His thing is a little bit long. If you want to fast forward through it or whatever, that's fine. But he talks about the clay and how it's made and things like that, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then I have the weaving lady, and then just some, I think, pictures. So you will hear my voice throughout the, I think throughout the video, but this is going to be the only part where you see me, hopefully. And I hope you enjoy the video. Like I said, it is not a yarn video. It's more like a vacation things we did video. But I hope you enjoy it. And thanks for liking mine and all of that stuff. And I'll see you either at the end or at the next video. Okay, bye. Put you on my channel.
Fine.
With I'll put your business card on there. And all of your beautiful hand woven, hand dyed, hand spun goodness. Oh my goodness. And I love your cape. I got to show the cape.
Oh yeah.
This cape is awesome. All hand cotton and no wool. And it is just fabulous. I love it.
Wow. Papillon, which means butterfly.
It's gorgeous. She does beautiful work. I'm just learning to knit,
It's a
and
labor of love.
it's gorgeous. And this, did you guys see this?
Oh yeah.
Look at this with the beads.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that fabulous?
So that's actually my hand.
Now, I'm going to use my metal rib. It's a flimsy piece of metal. To smooth it out, reshape it a little bit. This is also getting some really wet clay off the side. That's going to help me pick it up, having all that wet clay off of there. And I like to use this to try to round off the bottom a little bit more. And why not get some more of that wet clay off the side. Now, all right. So for some quick, simple decoration, I made this tool with these forks on it. Howdy. All right. So I just touch this to it while it's spinning. One more time with my throwing stick. I want to put a deep groove on the very bottom. That deep groove is for my last very expensive tool, or expensively named tool. This is called a wire. That groove that I made guides my wire right underneath it. So now it's cut free from the wheel. Can't pick it up with wet, slimy hands. So I get as much clay off my hands as possible. Now, clay likes to stick to dry skin, so I keep my hands wet the whole time. So it's gliding nice and smooth between my hands. Since it's been cut free from the wheel, and I know clay likes to stick to dry hands, now that my hands are dry, I should be able to use that to my advantage and pick it right up. Nice. Now I can find discrepancies in that, so just over and over and over, and I've made a few thousand.
Yeah.
So now with everything I make today, I let it sit out overnight. Tomorrow when I come in, it'll still be wet, but dry enough I'll be able to pick it right up, and I won't have to be so careful with it. Let's see, how about this one? You can tell by the color of it that it's still wet, but I don't have to be so careful with this. It's definitely drier up here, that's why it's a different color. I've already used this for examples a few times, but everything when I cut it off the wheel, it has a sharp edge on the bottom. I want to get rid of that sharp edge, so tomorrow they'll go upside down. I'll trim off that sharp edge. Then I will put a handle onto it. And then I'll do some decorating. I can either do some brushwork, like what's on this. Now the color of the time period here at Hale Farm is cobalt blue. I get cobalt in a very fine powder, mix it with some water, and that lets me just brush it on. This is a dab with my brush. That line going around the top while it's spinning, I hold my brush in one spot, makes a nice even line for me. Or maybe I'll feel a little bit more adventurous. Maybe it's a slow day. I can do some drawing. This is called slip trailing. Sticking with clever names of tools in pottery, I will put some slip, which is really watered down clay, into a slip trailing tool. and I will use that to draw my design, whatever design I feel like making. Then I set it to the side to let it dry out the rest of the way. The rest of the way is called bone dry. That's where this is. Bone dry is very fragile. So I have this rope here. I want to be the only one to accidentally break stuff. At bone dry, that's when I fill up my kiln. The one right next to me is called a groundhog kiln. The one further from me, that's nice and tall, hopefully we think is in the shape of a bottle, because that's how it got its name. It is called a bottle kiln. I fill the kiln up with my bone dry pottery. I start my fire. I bake it to around 2,400 degrees. When I reach that temperature, I throw plain old table salt into the kiln. Same exact stuff we put in our food. I do that because I don't paint a glaze on here. I don't dunk it through buckets of glazes here. It's called salt glazing. So the salt hits that heat, it poofs into a cloud of vapor, swirls around the inside of the kiln, combines with all of my pottery. The combination of the salt and the clay creates my glaze.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, it is much more durable. We can drink out of it, eat out of it, even bake in it if it's the right shape. The reason I brought these two pieces out here is to show you that salt glazing is a clear coat. I have two different colors because these are two different clays. This is a regular stoneware. It has iron in it. This is what we have in the ground in this area. This is a white stoneware. It has no iron in it. That is the difference in color. That white stoneware does show off that cobalt blue decoration very nicely. But after 4 or 5 days of cooling down, I then unload my kiln. Everything is now ready for use and ready for sale. Questions about anything?
So when you say you put salt in it, like how much? Like a handful of
Well,
5 pounds?
that's kind of
whatever.
a big question. My kiln next to me has never been used, so all of my kiln brick looks like this. The kiln brick attracts the salt to it. So the first couple firings, I'm going to have to use about 30 or 40 pounds of salt. Now, my old kiln, the kiln brick now looks like this. It is all coated with salt. My last firing, I used 5 pounds of salt. So when this kiln is seasoned, I won't have to use that much salt anymore. I can actually do, or could do, a firing in my old kiln without adding any salt at all, and I would get a salt glazed surface. It's called a residual salt coating, or salt fire.
How come you don't use the old one anymore?
It's supposed to be rebuilt after about 8 years. Salt is so corrosive, it's destroying the kiln from the very beginning. So every 5 to 8 years, we have to rebuild one. I was able to make it last 12 years. It finally, after so much bloating, I could no longer fix the cracks that were being made. So we decided to tear it down and use any bricks we could to help build the new kiln, the groundhog kiln here.
I have another question. You said the clay with the iron in it. Can you use that to drink out of, and is it safe?
100%, yes. You asked the same question, I think. It is not enough iron to that you guys would notice at all. It can go in the microwave. It's not going to be detected by a metal detector.
It's cool.
I notice it. You would know. How about that?
Fair enough. This is the salt box house from the 1830s, and it's just showing some of the, rooms in the house and how they lived back at that time. This is the goldsmith's house, and it's much fancier and has wallpaper. This woman was knitting.
but the carpet is fancier. It's several stories tall. They had servants' quarters that you'll see. That's the children's room, and the children's like sitting room. And this is the kitchen area where the servants slept and ate and cooked and did the work. And part of the kitchen. That's the church, which you'll see a close-up of the candles there. And the organ. And I was really surprised to find carpeting. And this, that room is huge.
Move a pin as I go along to keep track. So you can see where there's big gaps in there. That. And so when I take my shuttle across there where those big gaps are, the yarn is going to pop out in those spots. So that is it. Pattern. So it's original 3D printer. Really. This is just a plain weave I do in between. It's called a tabby shot.
And you're using different thicknesses of yarn.
I am. These are pot holders, so you want it to be pretty thick so you don't get burnt.
So the thin yarn is just the
This is the in
Like
between to make it thicker to help
filler.
Right. Exactly.
So do you cut in between these?
Yes. Yeah. So when I take them off, I'll sew on either side of that, and then cut there. Fold this over and hand sew the hem on there, and then we leave a longer yarn that we'll crochet to make a loop for a handle.
Very
Oh, how cool.
These patterns are from the 1800s.
Patterns from the 1800s. Awesome. Now we have a bigger loom and some of the other supplies that they would have used. And then that's the carding I talked about. And then the dies are coming up. And this is the photographer. I didn't really take video of him, but just pictures. Don't you love that? Thanks very much.